Hello there YouTube, and welcome to another video today where we are ranking all the episodes in Series 11 including resolution. So we're going from worst to best. So yes, without further ado, let's get into this. So then, number 11 is Surprise Surprise, the Saranga Conundrum. What I will say just before this, this is different. This is in a different order for what you would expect based on the ratings you see in my reviews. And there's definitely going to be some controversial ones, but this is just my opinion. So please do respect that, and please also do feel free to leave your own opinion in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to read them. And it'll also be quite interesting to see how you rated these, since from what I can gather, this is quite an unusual way that I've rated this, but I'm going to stop waffling and actually get into number 11. So yeah, so number 11 is the Saranga Conundrum. This one is no surprise at all. This episode was way too chatty. It had too much dialogue in. It had a very, very boring after the first 10-15 minutes, which was decent. You know, if I was going to rate that sequence, I'll probably give it like 7 out of 10. It was decent. But after that, it got so boring, and the continuity of the monster going around the ship completely ran away as well. It was hardly ever there, apart from the scenes that I needed to be. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get companions. So Jodie Whittaker in this was not great, and seemed to be acting and trying to take charge of the situation in completely different way. So the situation of this was they were on a spaceship, 4 days flight away from the TARDIS, so there was no hope of getting that. The Sonic was useless for Jodie being a bit of an idiot and literally offering it to the Pating. I'll get onto the Pating later. So Jodie, for a pointless reason, decides to call everyone there into one room to have a chat while the ship is currently being eaten away by this rubbish-looking creature. Why? Who knows? Maybe she thought the creature would leave them alone. Oh my word, this creature did. But hang on, didn't this creature kill the entire fleet or army or whatever it was from the person with a pilot's heart injury? Can't remember her name, can't remember much about this story, to be honest. Yeah, so somehow they can all have a mother's meeting while the ship is being eaten away, without any noises in the background either. There was literally nothing to remind you that this creature's here apart from the fact they say it. But again, this goes to Chibnall's issue in Series 11. It wasn't too bad in resolution, but his issue in Series 11 is tell but doesn't show. And this is the perfect example of it. Yaz had nothing to do apart from being weird and deciding to boot the creature for some reason instead of running to an airpod and kicking it out. Oh, problem solved. Hang on, no, that's too short. We can't do that. No, too short. God damn it. So they had to extend it to a I think it's. I will be fair that the resolution to this wasn't too bad. With the creature eating a bomb and exploding inside it, but because it's indestructible, that wasn't bad. That was nicely done. I think the bomb the bomb being in the spaceship definitely, you could definitely feel like this time was running out. That was some feeling that I never lost throughout it when I was actually paying attention, because my eyes were refusing to look at this rubbish. Graham, to be honest, Graham and Ryan shouldn't have been, they didn't really need to be there. They didn't really have much of a job apart from being a doula. Whatever a doula is, I have no idea, but, you know, just being a doula, as you do, you just wake up every day and you think, right, let's be a doula. Something that did quite bug me is that there were some scenes, it was forgotten about halfway through the episode and came back to pretty much at the end of the episode. But even though the companions were pretty much as close to the bomb as the Doctor was, none of them had any sort of side effects or pain from the healing process. Even though I can't really remember what happened to their organs, but I think they got disordered or something. I'm just waffling now, but that something happened to their organs, and poor Jodie was walking around for about 10 minutes, you know, in pain, with some sort of injury to something, while Graham, Ryan and Yaz are just having a nice stroll in the Sunday park. Continuity, Chibnall. You're really good at it. Yeah, so, yes. So, before I make this in the entire review, I'm going to just talk about the thing. Okay. I'm going to do this very short before I get annoyed. So, Pating, stupid name, stupid look. The music was great, by the way, but it really over-dramatised this, and it makes me think that this creature was rushed in at last minute, because they were acting as if they just saw a weeping angel, to be honest, or a silence. When, to be honest, seeing the way Jodie reacted to the Kablam Man, it looked like Jodie would run over to it and cuddled it for all of eternity. And Yaz definitely wouldn't have been scared, and Ryan would probably just gone, huh. And Graham would have just been the granddad who has no idea what on earth is going on. But some reason they're like, ah! Yeah. Anyways, it's episode 10. This episode is definitely going to be the most surprising episode for some people, and not many people do dislike this episode as much as I did when I rewatched it. Because I was saving time to rewatch this episode till I got the DVD. So yes, I have got the Series 11 box set, which came one day early, which wasn't too bad. It's actually not a bad release. It's got a few audio commentaries which I do like listening to, but I'm straying again, so I'm just going to shut up and say what episode 10 is. So, episode 10, The Ghost Monument. Yes, The Ghost Monument, episode 2. Where do I begin? I guess I'm going to begin at the best part of this, which is the first 10 minutes are very good. They're good, they're intriguing, well directed, really well shot, well acted. Believe it was done it was a one take thing, but I believe they only had to do it once. I think it was what it said in the special features. The TARDIS scene. TARDIS scene was beautifully shot. Nothing about the start or ending has changed from my review, and I'll link down below all my reviews playlist in the description, which does include Rose, by the way, but yeah, if you want to watch that, you can. If not, you don't have to. But yeah, so okay, so the side characters, the acting throughout this was very good. Especially from the side characters, they acted really well. But again, it's more of the writing. Yeah, it's the so what you can gather. So the man is some selfish, horrible guy who's determined to win this race so he can get money and will be sorted for life, and he's going to let nothing to stop him. I will be willing to kill to get this reward. And the girl or woman or whatever you want to say is determined to do this to save her family who are in hiding from the Stenza, I believe it was, on some planet beginning with A. But in reality, what actually happens in the episode is, I think the best example for my point will be when they all go down underground, and earlier on, I can't remember this guy's name. I'm just gonna call him the man and the woman. So the man knows like, who cares? They're all dead and buried. No one cares about that anymore. But yet, for some unknown reason, he follows the Doctor and Yaz and Graham and Ryan to go underground so they can find out what happened. Why? He is supposed to be in a race. This is the most... They look like they just don't give a crap about this race and just screw it, I'm just following these geezers because they can blow up or knock out or do whatever they did to a robot. So hang on a minute, they only lasted a few minutes. And I mentioned it in my review, when they split up to go around the ruins, that felt like a race. But it didn't even feel like a race. They never felt like a need of urgency to win. There was not one point in this story where I felt like there was an urgent feeling to make them go out and win. And it started to annoy me, and it just got on my nerves, and the rags just... Okay, there's flying rags that can talk. Sure, pacing off. Robots can't shoot to save their lives. My cat could shoot better than them. I mean, this is not really a fun watch, to be honest, and it's not one that I'll ever go back to watch anytime soon. The only reason I'll revisit that episode so I can watch the TARDIS scene. But I'll probably just click on the episode in BBC iPlayer, skip to that scene, and that's it. It's just, it's not the greatest of episodes, and I don't know why this has happened so much in the series, but for some reason maybe I've been being soft for this series because of all the changes it's had. I don't know, but maybe I need to be stricter on my opinions for future episodes. Who knows? But most of these episodes have dropped in ratings from my first original ratings. I think there's only a couple ones that have actually retained their ratings or gone up. So that's episode 10. So episode 9 is another predictable one. Arachnids in the UK. So yes, I'm not going to talk about this because I got so annoyed at this in my review. So if you want to see what it was, actually, in the description I might just put all the videos separate to make it easier. But this episode was not my favourite. There were parts of it that were good. but just nothing really happens. Title's deceiving. Yeah, that's about it. Spiders were a bit meh. Ending scene doesn't do anything. Jodie was actually suggesting to make it worse for the spider, and then going to Jack Robinson that you have no mercy. And Jack Robinson, don't even get me started on how annoying he is. And I can deal with PC message every now and again, maybe 2 or 3 episodes a series. I can deal with it. I will say that I think it was put out there a little bit too much during this series. But this was just a step up too far. Having a literal Donald Trump without the wig. Anyways, so in 8th spot is the finale of Series 11, and all the bottom 4 episodes are Chibnall ones. Ha. Yeah, so yeah, the Battle of Ranskoll Avkolos is number 8. So I'm gonna go. I have a better liking towards Tim Shaw than most people do. Most people just don't like him and don't feel his finale villain. Whereas I think he was fine for a finale, and I really like his character. Don't know why. Maybe it's that this is going to be something else like this for another episode in this ranking. Maybe it's just the series that it's in, but I think what I liked about him the most is the cold-heartedness he is shown, because those little scenes that Chibnall put in the first episode where he just goes around killing people, just, he doesn't even need to. Like that salad guy, odd, slightly amusing. But again, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of making him feel quite threatening. And then he goes kill the granddad, and you kind of like the granddad just because of how happy he is that he's talking to his granddaughter, and he's like, oh, most granddads don't have this opportunity to talk to their grandchildren, and you're kind of like, oh, sweet. And then he's like, no, I am Tim Shaw and I'll kill you. And that's the end of him. Carl's just odd, and that's all there is to say about him. He's just odd. Apparently he was hilarious on set. And fun fact for you, people who's watched special features will know this, but in the episode 9 read through, which is It Takes You Away, they didn't have the person in for Ribbons, and so in the script read through, Carl, the person who plays Carl, voiced Ribbons in a very odd voice. Thought I'd mention that. Yeah, so the Battle of Ranskoll Avkolos, I'm fine with Tim Shaw, but it's just such a boring episode, and it's just not a finale. It's just really not a finale. In my head, Resolution's a finale, and I'm just going to say this now, it was average. On rewatch, it was average. Yeah, it was boring, average. Did not feel like a finale, and overall just underwhelming. So yeah, so episode 7, another controversial one, and some of you are going to be surprised by this. It is Kablam, and I can kind of appreciate this story. It's rewatchable. I will say that it's a fun watch, but it's just one of those stories that it's just not one that I can enjoy. Don't know why. It's just one of those stories that I just don't enjoy. It just feels quite boring at points. I know why I said it's fun, but it's because it's got like the scenes with all the boxers, and that stupid thing with Charlie when Ryan high-fives him and he falls over and it looks so bad. But I mean, the twist of Charlie was good and didn't really see it coming. But I think it would have been better if they did leave it as robots, because they were presented really, really creepy throughout the whole episode. So thinking that Charlie, who's just like, he's Charlie. Yeah. It just seemed like it came out of nowhere, and as soon as he came running into that room with all the robots, he seemed to be a completely different character. And it's just not my sort of story. I can see where people will like it, but it's just not one I can enjoy. Silent, and 6th spot is Chibnall's 5th out of 6 story on this list. 7 if you want to include Rosa. And it is Resolution, the New Year's special. So yeah, yes. So Resolution was Return of the Daleks. It was the only episode of 2019, as far as I know, because pretty soon the next episode will be 2020 New Year's special. Wow. Yeah. So I think this episode isn't boring. It's got a lot of exciting scenes in it, with like car chase, Doctor confronting the Dalek. The military scene is one of the best Dalek scenes just of Doctor Who. I think I would genuinely go as far as saying that it's up there with the scenes that were in Dalek for me. It's just an exciting story to watch, but it's got quite a few issues. Like this, again, it's got pacing issues, which Ghost Monument has, Women Who Fell to Earth has. Arachnews in UK didn't really have it, but the Saranga Conundrum definitely did. But I mean, the scenes of Ryan's dad and Ryan just felt completely out of place, and I wasn't really that intrigued about Ryan's dad. I just didn't really care for him, and I was slightly disappointed, to be honest, when he turned out to not die. I don't think many people had this sort of feeling, but it just disappointed. Especially with how the music was going. It was like a perfect setting, perfect sound, just perfect everything for someone to die, and then he's just like, nope, I am stronger than a Dalek. And it's really bugging me with how easily Ryan has forgiven his dad. I think it would have been better if he just said, alright, Dad, I know you've messed up, but you can start here. You can go on a path for me forgiving you. Make this a good start, don't let me down. Yeah, it was scenes like that, and the scene with the Dalek when it got blown up, as I said in review, it didn't bug me that much to the point where I genuinely can't stand the story. But it did bug me a lot when I rewatched this. And it genuinely reminded me of like the 1960s and 70s Dalek when they got beaten up with sticks or picked up and just chucked. It did feel like really, really poor. And considering how well Chibnall was doing up to that point with writing them, it's just quite disappointing. So just like pacing issues and out of places with scenes, and I felt like it took too long for for the Dalek to properly be being a Dalek. I feel like if that military scene happened like 10-15 minutes earlier, then had more time to show the Dalek's power, I think it would have been better. And it's just felt like kind of, that was too easy with the fleet and destroying the Dalek's case, and it just bugged me, those things. So that's why the Resolution is at 6. But at 5th place is It Takes You Away, which is the 9th episode, the penultimate episode of the series, written by Ed Him, or Ed Himmy, however you say that guy's name. Not got a clue. Sorry, I genuinely don't know how to say his name. But yeah, so It Takes You Away was a solid episode. I don't think there was anything outstanding about it. But it was a solid episode, and that it was a strong episode. Like from at least the top 5 episodes are all strong episodes that are rewatchable and I enjoy. Like it's genuinely a 2 ratings gap between 6 and 5. Like Resolution for me is a 6 out of 10. It Takes You Away is an 8. So yeah. But yeah, it was a solid story, and it could have had an issue with trying to go for too many genres with going from horror to full-on sci-fi with different dimensions to emotional to frogs. The frogs was the only bit that was a flaw, and to be honest, I think it wasn't for that frog. This might be a 9 out of 10, which would have taken it to like the top 2. But this was definitely a solid, enjoyable, rewatchable story. I just quite liked it. So yeah, so number 4 is the final Chibnall script. I'm not really including Rosa since I found that should have been written by Mallory Blackman, but Chibnall just writ enough that legally he had to have been credited as the co-writer of that episode. But yeah, so The Woman Who Fell to Earth. This again was a solid opener, and as I said earlier, I quite liked him short of a villain. I thought this was a great way to start for him. Jodie Whittaker I didn't like the fact that you couldn't really understand her character yet. I think there should have been, at that moment on the crane, it didn't feel like it had power of as it should have. Like, I felt like it should have been. I think Chibnall in his head thought that would have the power of what Matt Smith's scene against the Atraxi did, but it just didn't for me, and I think for most people as well. But again, it's an enjoyable story. Some pacing issues, but a really shocking death scene for Grace, and it just had those little scenes that just made it really enjoyable for me. So number 4 was The Woman Who Fell to Earth. So number 3 now, the one written by Chris Chibnall and Mallory Blackman, is Rosa, and this is just a beautiful story, and there's just one thing that lets it down and one personal thing that just takes this down to not being the best of the series. So it's a beautiful story. The characters this is definitely them at their best, I feel, and the scene on the bus is just one of the best scenes of Doctor Who. It is heartbreaking, it's emotional, it's beautiful, and it just feels like it has everything that it needed to. And doing a story like this was so brave and risky, and it really did pay off. So the biggest falling point for me was Krasko was just poor. He was a poor villain. No, it felt like he was slightly threatening until you found out that he just gone all Spike from Buffy the Vampire. If you don't know what I mean by that, he had a chip in his... Well, Spike had a chip in his head. I'm not sure what Krasko had. But Krasko had something that stopped him from hurting people. And then every threat level that he had just went out the window. But I think his plan was definitely really good. It was clever, and it felt like a really good plan, to be honest. Obviously it didn't work, but yeah. And the other thing is that this type of historical, where there's not much of like an alien threat, it's just not really my type of story. Like, it's similar story to Gunfighters, I don't mind that, but it's just not really my type. But I can still recognise how good a story this is, and that is why it's just the 3rd best of the series. So in number 2, for what you're expecting would be Demons of Punjab. Is it Demons of the Punjab. It isn't. When I rewatched it, the Witchfinders did fall a little bit, and Demons of the Punjab actually became better. But so the Witchfinders, it's a great story. It's definitely a really, really good story. Strong episode with a lot of good scenes. Some people don't like the last 15 minutes, but I do. I think I still like it, and I think it's a similar story to what I said earlier about the timing of it in the series. In a different series, like Series 10, Series 7, Series 3, Series 4, whatever, this wouldn't be as good of an episode because of the lack of villains we've had. I think having a villain like the Morax, it just really worked for me. So because of it, I think that's most of the reason why I really do enjoy the Witchfinders more than other people do. But I just think the villain's really good and the story's very good, and there's lots of really good scenes. The biggest standout one for me is the Doctor getting ducked. I felt that was a really powerful scene. Yeah. Can't really think more to say, but that's a good episode. And number 1 is Demons of the Punjab, which is my first reaction I did on this channel. So Demons of the Punjab, a beautiful, 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 sad script, and just like Rose did, which I forget to mention, this story taught me about it. With Rosa Parks, I'm pretty certain I've heard of the story from somewhere. I didn't really recognise the name at first, but I think I knew the story from somewhere. But with this, I genuinely thought India and Pakistan was just a thing. I thought it's been there forever. I didn't know there was a story about it at all. So having something like that was like, oh, this is interesting. Did this actually happen? And it was just a really well written story, and ignoring the cardboard accent that happened for it from Prem and Harry Potter, it was a really, really good story. And to be honest, it's the scene where Prem dies is quite sad, and the slow motion usage and the music, and just having like a simple shot of the 4 people just walking away, just you can see the look in their faces of how distraught they are, and the doctors too, because she probably does feel slightly guilty about it because she knows that Yaz doesn't want Prem to die, but because Yaz has to live for history, Prem has to die, and it's just so good, and it's by far the best episode of the series for me, and it's a great episode. So overall, Series 11 hasn't been the greatest series in my opinion. There will be series ranking coming soon. There'll be quite a few ranking videos because they're easy to do and don't take up too much time, which I'm saying that this is going to be one of my longest videos, but considering how long like reactions and reviews generally take to do, this is definitely one of the shortest ones. So there'll be top 10 worst episodes coming out soon. God, that's going to be hell to record. I'm going to warn you now, that's going to be a rant. Top 10 best episodes and ranking the series. And if you're wondering why I'm doing videos that don't generally take too much effort, I've just finished my mock, so I have a little bit of time at the moment, but I will be needing to revise for my GCSEs, so I just won't have as much time to record videos. So I'll try and get them as when possible, but it might not always be possible. So within the next month or so, there will be a hiatus on my channel, and the only thing that would probably get in the way is the fan audios. But for the moment, I do have a few planned. Not sure when they're getting out. Just hope when I get time, I'll try and do as many this week as I can. But yeah, I will be a bit better from now on. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Please do tell me what your opinion was of Series 11 and how you would rank the episodes. I'd be really interested to see where you would put them. So hope to see you soon. If you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe, like if you enjoyed, and for now I'm out. Goodbye.